I would fake sick to get out of school and just get out of the environment for the day.
Occasionally I might see another child talking in a negative tone to another child.
Current Cabrini senior and Drexel Hill resident Dan Luner has been a victim of bullying for most of his life.
When I first started getting bullied, it started in about 4th grade, and then it started off with jokes about questioning my sexuality, and because I was into the more artsy stuff like photography and theater and stuff like that. So it started off with jokes like that, but then as I progressed throughout middle school, it continually got worse and worse.
Indian Lane Elementary School kindergarten teacher Shirley Young has 26 years of teaching under her belt, from grades kindergarten through 3rd grade.
15 years ago, maybe even further back, children were treated differently. If students found out, or their peers found out that they had any differences at all, maybe their family life, maybe they had speech impediments or speech difficulties, sometimes these children would be picked on by their peers. Sometimes it would be verbally abusive and sometimes even physically abusive. The children would be pushed around.
One day I was leaving class and somebody had unzipped my binder without me noticing, and I'm rushing to go to my next class and all my papers fall out. And everybody's there laughing at me, pointing at me, just as low as you can possibly feel in a middle school situation. Looking back on it now, that was when I was like, I need to be able to deal with this in a healthier way.
Most of the time the children are very willing to speak to an adult right away and ask for some help. With the older children, sometimes I see some negative feedback from the child that is being bullied. Occasionally they will even fight back or talk back to the child or do something negative like pushing or shoving.
Starting in elementary school, I started to get really anxious to go to school, so I wouldn't want to leave my parents. I wasn't the kid who really had a friend group. I'm definitely more reserved in going into new social situations. I'm not usually my outgoing self. It's made me less of a social person, which definitely has had its impacts on my friendships in life.
There's this one other student that I had that was bullied. I taught him in 1st grade and he was bullied all the way through, at least middle school, and ended up trying to ignore it the best he could. I know it hurt his feelings, but he did push it off and try not to let the kids know that it hurt him very much. And when he graduated from high school, he was the valedictorian. Right now he's in college and he's doing very well. He's been very successful. Sometimes the children just tend to let it bother them for the rest of their lives, and other children, they just turn it around and they make the best out of their life.
I came into college determined to make an impact on my social life, on my involvement, my extracurriculars, basically, and especially as a commuter, anything and everything outside the classroom. The one was just like talking about the topic from our perspective, right. And then there was the highlights from all of our media. Yeah. All of those encompassing experiences have helped relinquish the bad that has happened before. Definitely in the next chapter of my life, I plan to hopefully graduate from Cabrini in May of 2016, and then working in the Philadelphia arts community as a public relations account coordinator or a public relations practitioner of some sort. It wouldn't really be a career that most people who have had these experiences would go for, but I think I'm up to the task.
Victims of bullying often have a hard time figuring out where to go for help. Both Dan and Shirley offer some advice.
The best thing to do is go to an adult and ask for help. If they're not getting results from one adult, I think it's best to always go to another adult, because we can always work together as a team as well. Teachers are very willing to work with the parents and the guidance counselor to help any children at need in any way.
Words can be such a powerful tool. Use language and use words and verbiage and all that stuff in a positive manner, in a positive way, and in a way that's not demeaning to the people you are talking to.